Hey, it's Tree and I'm back for another video. Today I'm going to be touring sketchbook 16 and 17. This sketchbook was one of the many sketchbooks from my senior year of high school. So in particular, this one's from the fall of that year, I think. And then the next one I think I did during my winter break. I'm not sure. I'll have to see in a minute. But basically I've explained this before, but I used to draw a lot of fan art, and then I went to drawing new original stuff and my own characters. I definitely feel like this sketchbook I'm trying to figure out how I want to draw my own characters and a style that would work for me. Some of these drawings I'm very fond of, even though I don't draw like that anymore. Because like I said, this is an old sketchbook. I don't draw like this anymore. And then other things I find a little awkward, but that's just how it is. But I definitely think I'm just trying to figure out how these characters would look like, and what I like to draw, and what I like characters to look like. Another thing, during this time period, I definitely wanted to practice things that I wasn't used to drawing, but in many ways I was kind of afraid to take that plunge or draw things that I'm not used to. And then I just kind of one day forced myself to start drawing figure draws. And I used to do a lot of those, but not as much anymore, which is probably not a good thing, I don't know. But I definitely feel like looking at real life people definitely helped a lot. And then at a certain point I took a break from this sketchbook to do another one. And I'm not sure if that's sketchbook 17 or not, but I kind of was like, I'm tired of looking at this sketchbook, so I'm going to do something else. And then by the time I came back to this sketchbook, I was getting into doing watercolors and acrylic painting, and figuring out what I liked about those mediums, because previously I wasn't really doing much with watercolor. It wasn't like my thing yet. I still don't know if I would call it my thing, but yeah, so apparently the second one, Sketchbook 17, was during my summer break, but I remember all I would do during that time was practice drawing different things, but also, another thing I would do was looking at a lot of YouTube tutorials on how to draw certain things. And I remember in particular when I would do this, I would be watching like different free art documentaries on YouTube, because I like having things on when I draw, and I just started getting obsessed with watching art documentaries. And I'd look at those paintings and things from art documentaries, and I'd be like, how did they draw this? And how did they draw in this certain way? And then I was trying to emulate that on some pages. I think one of the things I figured out during this time period is that I'm just not really a fan of acrylic painting. I can do it, but it's not my favorite thing to do. I'd rather use watercolors and things like that. So that's why I slowly started doing like just watercolor, if that makes sense. At this time period, I was also using a watercolor palette from Michael's, their in-house brand or whatever, and it only costed me $5, and now I know why it only costed me $5. That said, in particular, if you use too much pigment, it would flake off, and then you'd have to repaint it because it wasn't as pigmented anymore, and that got very annoying fast. But I was still trying to practice drawing things, and one of the things I started to do was I would see certain YouTuber styles on YouTube, and then I would try to emulate their style in some way. And eventually, near the end of this sketchbook, like, I went from drawing hair in segmented pieces to kind of breaking away from that, because I figured out I didn't like drawing that way, so I wasn't going to draw that way anymore. I'm definitely of the mindset that, like, if I don't like drawing a certain thing, I'm just not gonna draw that, you know? Like, if I don't enjoy a medium especially, I just won't use it. I mean, if somebody were to commission me to use a certain medium like acrylic, I would do it, but for my own purposes, I just don't do it. And I definitely think it's important to figure out what you like to draw and what you don't like to draw. It'll save you a lot of time, but also, one of the things that I like to do is just draw mindlessly for my own purposes, and it's very helpful to relax that way if you know what you like to draw. For a while in particular, I know that one of the things that I would just turn my brain off and draw was like flowers, and then sometimes it's certain characters that I really like that I've designed, but turning off my brain to just draw whatever I want to is just personally very relaxing to me, because I feel like I spend so much brain power drawing comics and things like that, and if I turn off my brain for a little while, it puts me in a zone. So when I'm working on comics, I'm working hard and using my brain, but if I turn it off, I'm just relaxing, and it's nice. I don't know if that made any sense at all. But on one of these pages, you can see my exact schedule for my senior year of high school. I had English 4, personal finance, a web page design class, a bridge math class. Fun fact, taking bridge math gave me credits in college to where I wouldn't have to take remedial math, and I am bad at math. And then during the spring, I was in drama 3 and 2 art classes, and then PE. I've explained this before, but basically I didn't have anything left to take and they wouldn't let me graduate early. But it definitely was a different time period for me. And I guess that's all I need to say about this video. If you like listening to me ramble, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.